Welcome to James Carter Field in Boston, Massachusetts. Little East lacrosse action for you on this Wednesday afternoon. It's an inter-system battle as the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth come to town to battle with the Beacons of UMass Boston. I'm Alex Barth, getting you ready for this one. We are about 7-8 minutes away from opening face-off. The Corsairs come in at 3-8. They are winless so far in the Little East Conference. The Beacons come in at 4-7. They are 1-2 in conference play. Taking a look at the matchup, you see the numbers, a couple of low-scoring teams, defensive teams, so expect the goals to stay down today. The goalies to dominate. We have a freshman to senior matchup in Matt LaFond and Alex Surrett. We'll get to that in a bit as you take a look at the stats right there. The saves per. Matt LaFond's been excellent this year for a team that has struggled at times, averaging double-digit saves. Beacon's last home game was their last win, and that was an 11-8 victory over Western Connecticut. We'll now take a look back at that one.
Sam Adams up top, another guy who gave up the ball in the midfield. Holmes trying to pull his way towards the end of the turnaround shot. That time he can't make the save. Unfortunately, almost compared to turnovers in games. If there's a big hit on Bonaparte, we're looking at his options, goes out wide, finds Smith. Smith shot, and the it goes through the line of damage, leads to 12. UMass Boston
goal scored by number 11.
Needs to make some quickly. After the side of the right, down, bring it back like you never did it before. He can punch it on the other side. Now from the far side, Needle left to go. Webster looking to come back with 2 on that hit.
If you came to party tonight, I need y'all to get your drinks in the air. Get your bottles in the air. If you see a sexy lady right now, put your hands up.
Working off of Brian Murchison. Air ball behind the net for Lee. Looking to get the turn lead. The shot at the point. Melvin Lee. His first goal in 2017. And what a great academic game for the same year. He won his first big time. And then he went back to Aaron. Now Boston 2-0. Scored 2 goals for both Beacons. Scored 2. Deep possession, the ball well, chasing along, big goal on Berkman, a deep shot, now it's 35. Back up to goalie, as he looks for his own shot. Caldwell looks for the hash, he's got it. Hender's gonna come over and take him up. Lee looking to dart around, looking for the pass. Only the speed range. As the Beacons in.
UMass Boston.
Sexy, beautiful lady, won't you bring it right back? Go ahead, pull up 180.
Stop him. The long ball needs play. Gives it on. I see him now. Give up by Christensen.
You're my boomerang.
Ask for more. 14 pressure by here ready to go. Goal by Crawford. All loose in it. Lee takes the pass back near side. Heads for Lee. Hard side. Great passing here. Matt inside. Shot to score. And that's the entire first half. Harris just takes a huge out there for the past couple disappointing losses. There's been a lot more physical art of the sweet spot.
Bring it back like you never did it before.
Western 44. Their fourth win of the season. Bring it across the ceiling. Lee looking for the fourth. Not giving it a far side.
1 minute left in the game.
Will looks to run along the end. But
UMass Boston goal scored by number
4. And it's very fitting that the man who couldn't play for the first month of the season. They hero today. Ends the game with the ball.
Final score in today's
You're my boomerang.
Seth Orensky on the call for that one. Again, the last home game for the Beacons, an 11-8 win over Western Connecticut. Finally, they get out here on James Cotter Field in temperatures above freezing as winter hung around late here in New England. But a beautiful day today, a bit windy, and a bit may be an understatement. It's whipping out there pretty good as we're just off Boston Harbor. We'll see how that affects things as we get going. And looking ahead for the Beacons, they do have a couple home games coming up. Saturday against Plymouth State at 3 o'clock. I'll be on the call for that one, so you can join us then. They go on the road at Plymouth State before returning home to end the regular season against Southern Maine. Conference tournament will start after that. Just 3 games left, all in conference for both of these squads. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in on a Wednesday afternoon to Little East Lacrosse. Alex Barth on the call from James Cotter Field. The Corsairs come in at 3-8, 0-3 in the Little East. The Beacons at 4-7, 1-2 in conference. The goaltending matchup today will feature Matt LaFond against Alex Surrett. LaFond is a senior from Bridgewater, Massachusetts, stands 5'10", $150. He is 3-8 on the year. He has picked up every decision for Dartmouth, a 10.84 goals against average, and he has stopped about 58% of the shots he faces. On the other side, Alex Surrett, the freshman, has gotten most of the time, all but 2 starts, 9 of 11 starts for the Beacons. They like what they see out of him. A little bit shorter, 5'7", but at 215, a good range. It covers up a lot of the net. From Melrose, Massachusetts, he is 3-6 on the year with a 12.69 goals against average and a 48 save percentage. He also has 1 assist, which is rare for lacrosse goalies. If you're familiar with hockey, you know how rare it is for a goalie to pick up an assist. It is rarer in the sport of lacrosse. That being said, of course, it happens as Surrett has 1. For the starting lineup, so I'll turn you up a little bit and you'll hear our PA announcer, Seth Orinsky.
A junior long stick midfielder from Southborough, Mass. Number 3, Joe Mariano. A senior defenseman from Brookfield, Mass. Number 5, Patrick Lucas. A freshman attack from Ashland, Massachusetts. Number 11, Donovan Brzezinski. A senior midfielder from Dover, Mass. Number 12, Scott Spangenberg. A senior attack from Medway, Mass. Number 16, Sean Peters. A junior attack from Ashland, Massachusetts. Number 19, DJ Miller. A junior midfielder from Peterborough, Massachusetts. Number 27, Reardon McCall. A junior defenseman from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Number 34, Matt Daly. And in goal for the Corsairs, a senior from Bridgewater, Mass. Number 1, Matt LaFond. The Corsairs are coached by first-year head coach Terry Corcoran. He's assisted by Mike Forns and Sam Schilling. Now the starting lineup for your UMass Boston Beacons. A senior attack from Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Number 3, Calvin Lee. A freshman defenseman from Newton, Massachusetts. Number 4, Robert Ranta. A junior attack from Syracuse, New York. Number 7, Clay Arnold. A junior midfielder from Syracuse, New York. Number 8, Croy Arnold. A freshman attack from Groton, Massachusetts. Number 9, Eric Wollrath. A senior midfielder from Medford, Massachusetts. Number 10, Anthony Tortora. A sophomore defenseman from Watertown, Massachusetts. Number 19, Matt Murphy. A junior long stick midfielder from Barrington, Rhode Island. Number 22, Jack Dillon. A junior defenseman from Medfield, Massachusetts. Number 29, Jim Gannum. And in net for your Beacons, a freshman from Melrose, Massachusetts. Number 15, Alex Surrett. The Beacons are coached by Tyler Lowe in his 7th season. He's assisted by Jason Mullemeyer, Anthony Fitty, Spencer Lowe, and Chris St. George. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you can please rise and take off your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Getting ready to get underway. The officials today, Tom Kitterick, Paul Quill, and Yugo Yamaguchi. They will be the ones making the calls. Alex Surratt, again, will be in goal for the Beacons. He is coming off a career-high 17 saves and a 22-3 loss at Keene State. Keene State paces the Little East, 7-0 in conference, 14-4 overall. The starting lineups one more time across the top for the Beacons. Calvin Lee, Clay Arnold, and Eric Wollrath. Anthony Tortora and Jack Dillon are the midfielders, along with Croy Arnold, who will take the faceoffs. Robert Ransom, Matt Murphy, and Jim Gannum are the back line in front of Alex Surratt. Meanwhile, for Dartmouth, Donovan Przinski, remember his brother last year, killed the Beacons in conference play. Przinski, Sean Peters, and DJ Miller are the attackmen for the Corsairs. The midfielders are Joe Mariano, Scott Spangenberg, and Reardon McCall. Jack O'Brien, Patrick Lucas, and Matt Daly are the defensemen in front of Matt LaFond. Keep an eye on Eric Wollrath today, number 9 in white. In limited action, he has just 2 goals this season, a freshman from Groton, Mass. We'll see what he does with the start today. See the teams lined up in midfield. You can tell the wind whipping pretty good. It is moving as you are looking from right to left coming off the harbor, so it will be in the Beacons' faces based on the way the goaltender split out. The Beacons will have the wind coming at them, at least for the first quarter. UMass Boston in their home whites with black helmets and black numbers. They will move left to right across your screen to start things off. The Corsairs, dark blue jerseys, blue helmets, gold trim, white numbers. They will move right to left. Down for the opening faceoff. The Corsairs just 37% on the year on the draw, so a chance for the Beacons to take advantage of there, and they do on the opening win. It's actually Matt Murphy stepping in and taking the opening faceoff. They go with the long pole to get things started, and it pays off. Coming in around the edges, Jack Dillon. Dillon flips the ball back. It's loose. Scooping it up is Adam Caravo. No, pardon me, getting in there is Calvin Lee. Lee started the season. Did not start the season. Let's put it that way. He hurt his knee right before the first game of the year. Missed some time. He's back now. In 4 games, he has 12 points. Does not appear to have lost a step. You see the brace on the right knee. We'll see how he continues to assimilate. Keep an eye on number 3 in white. Beacon setting up the offense for the first time, and they'll start it with Sam Matten, the Sturbridge, Massachusetts native with 7 points on the year. Centers the ball to Anthony Tortora. Tortora near side on a hop off the shoulder and grabbed by Caravo. Caravo down to the goal line, extended back out. Around to the top they go. Breaking to his right is Tortora. Back out to Caravo. Both of these teams looking to get back on the winning side of things. The Corsairs had won 2 in a row before losing in overtime against Southern Maine. The Beacons have dropped 3 straight. Driving and shooting. That's a good start to it. Anthony Tortora with his 4th goal of the year puts the Beacons on the board. It will go unassisted. And the senior from Medford, Massachusetts makes it 1-0. Took about 1 minute and 17 seconds if my math is correct. There's a good chance it's not, but the Beacons with an early lead before the Corsairs even touch the ball back to the faceoff. And again, it will be Matt Murphy, or pardon me. No, it's Matt Murphy for the Beacons. He's facing Reardon McCall, and McCall comes up with it briefly. Now scampers away after some contact. They'll start with Jack O'Brien, the junior defenseman from Chelmsford. 26 ground balls on the year. Over to LaFond wearing a sweatshirt under his pads. You can see the hood poking out the back of the jersey. Up near midfield. In come the Corsairs. Tony Breslin will get it started. Breslin, a junior, just 1 point on the year. That's a goal. Behind the net to Jordan Torres. Torres, 24 points. That's 3rd on the team. Behind Donovan Przinski and Sean Peters, who have 32 and 33 respectively. Behind the net to Przinski. Przinski fakes going over the shoulder. Now back around. He's guarded by Gannum. That one gets away. The Beacons will get the ball back. First possession for UMass Dartmouth results in a turnover. They will start it with number 10, Anthony Tortora, has the lone goal. Caravo with it, near side of Tortora, back to Caravo. He's guarded by TJ Real. Tortora breaks to his right, lowers the shoulder, grinding his way in on the defense, cuts in front. Backhanded pass behind the net, out to the front, had a man cutting it, gets away, picked up by Arnold. Arnold slings it to Tortora, the Beacons reset. 3 minutes into the first quarter of this one, UMass Boston with a 1-0 lead. Up to Arnold. Arnold moving to his right. Now he's going to try to drive in. Takes a big hit from Mike Rizzo. Swinging around the back comes Eric Wollrath. Wollrath out to Tortora. Big looping sidearm shot. Over to Caravo. Caravo back to Tortora. Thought about going near side to Arnold. Instead back to Caravo. He's going to run up and take it to the point. Give it to Arnold. Arnold guarded by Rizzo again. Loses the ball. Hits off his helmet. He can't find it. Sees it rolling towards the sideline. Tries to push it away. Give himself some space. Caravo there backing down. He scoops it up. Keeps himself in bounds. Momentarily the ball's lost. Official's arm is up. I believe we will have a delayed penalty call here. Nope, the flag doesn't come. Matten checking into the game. Now he gets the ball. Back out to the top to Caravo. Tortora. Beacons running 3 men high as they try to crack the defense. Matten sprints it behind the net. Gives it off to Wollrath. Wollrath spins off his man, gets a screen to the left. And I think that was a crease violation. Might have stepped in the spot. So second possession for the Corsairs. So far 3 possessions today. A goal and 2 turnovers between these two teams. LaFond well out of his net looking to play this one. Goes to the far side. Gives it to Jack O'Brien. O'Brien back to LaFond. LaFond looking up the field. Wants to go down the middle with it. He does. It's a long pass. It got away from him. The wind might have knocked that down. Whistles blow. It's out of bounds. It's Beacons ball again. Second turnover by UMass Dartmouth. Up to Arnold. Arnold looking for Jack Dillon, the long stick midi. He's a real offensive threat. 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. Mike Mulligan checks into the game, grabs the ball. The freshman has 4 points on the year, 4 goals. Arnold backpedaling. As the Beacons continue to work their offensive unit into the game, they slow things up. Caravo, defender playing him to go to his right. He does. He takes it. Bounces it behind the net. Wollrath, guarded by O'Brien, runs it out to the corner, gives it back out to the top. Arnold has it on the hop. Arnold near side to Caravo, back to Arnold. Coming in with the right-handed cradle, gives it off to his brother Croy, now behind the net. Quick rotation here from the Beacons. Calvin Lee off angle shot. Save made low by LaFond. Corsairs going to try to run this one in transition. Defense has to shift over to pick up the man looking for the backdoor pass. It wasn't there. They shoveled it to Przinski. Przinski guarded by Murphy. A whistle blows and it's a turnover. I believe it was an offsides call. A bad substitution by Dartmouth. Now 3 possessions, 3 turnovers. On a hop, charging in with momentum is Matten. Couldn't field it cleanly, brought him back to the sideline. Matten. Behind the net to Wollrath. Cradling with the right hand, now switches to the left, moves to his left, trying to step up, spins away. O'Brien right there with him. Needs to get rid of this one, and he does. Madden to the middle. Pump fake from Mulligan. Right-handed pass behind the net. Flung out to the top to Tortora. To Matten. And the Beacons will reset again, now just 2 men high. Matten started with the right charge. Switch to the left. Winds up, shoots, misses wide. Beacons were back for possession. Tortora on the far side, up to Matten at the top. Matten with the charge off his right shoulder, tried to leave it in the middle. Unable to get into the stick of Mulligan. It's a turnover. Another one for the Beacons. It's been the story of the game so far for both teams. Jack O'Brien with it. He looks upfield and gets it to his goaltender. Over to the far side to Matt Daly. Daly sprinting up the right sideline across midfield. Gives it to Mike Rizzo. Rizzo with the left hand in the box. Centers himself. Thought about shooting. Now backs off. Had it lined up there for a second, but not enough time to pull the trigger. Torres over to the far side. Gets it back. Up to the top they go to Torres. Torres to the far side. Trying to cut it in on the goal line. Has the ball knocked out of his stick. It's loose in front near the crease. It looks like Surratt's down on it. He is. Now it's the Beacons trying to go in transition. Arnold up midfield. He has space. Charging in. Backdoor cut. Lee behind the back. Pass. And the defense closes before they can get the shot off. A nice pass by Calvin Lee. But the shot just wasn't there. Beacons, though, maintain possession. 5:43 to go in quarter number 1. UMass Boston with a 1-0 lead. That goal came early from Anthony Tortora. It's Tortora with it now. To the near side to Adam Caraveau. Caraveau going to take a couple steps in. Doesn't have the look. Still a strong wind as it's been for the last couple of hours here in Boston. Tortora's going to come in with it again with the right hand. Faked the shot, passed it behind, left it wide of Wollrath. Another turnover. Here's LaFond. Over to O'Brien. Uncharacteristic. Most defensemen have a side. Similar to in hockey, you'll have your left defenseman, your right defense. Similar in lacrosse, but in this one we've seen O'Brien switch sides a lot with either it be Patrick Lucas or Matt Daly, whoever's in the game with him. That one's poked loose. A nice stick check from Jack Dillon. The ball's on the ground. It's going to be Beacon's ball. After a scrum, they'll try to go in transition again. Arnold using that straight line speed. Now he'll pull up as he checks it into the box. Defense back quickly again. The Corsairs' transition defense has been nice so far today. The one goal coming in a real 6-on-6 setup. Tortora with 4.5 to go in the quarter. Gets it back to Caraveau. Caraveau finds a split in the defense with a hesitation move. Bounce a pass in front. Somehow gathered up initially, then knocked over on the check from Jack O'Brien. Put a man on the ground and found the ball. It was a nice pass, but physical defense from UMass Dartmouth forces another Beacon turnover. Up the near sideline they come. Luking around is Austin Titus. Titus ducks under the stick check of Lee across midfield. Gets it to Donahue. Back to Titus. Titus to the far side. Sailed it high. Beacon ball once again. 3:46 to go in the first quarter. Moving pretty quickly here so far. Part of that is just one goal. And that, of course, is the announcer's jinx. So here comes the slowdown. Here comes a turnover. Here come the Corsairs. 2-on-3, but with the lead. They'll pull it up. Now the backdoor cut. The ball's poked loose. Still rolling loose, and the Beacons will scoop it up. Looked like DJ Miller had a shot. He elected to make the pass instead. The Beacons' defense forces the turnover. Interesting call there from UMass Dartmouth. They get it to Surratt. Over to the far side, and UMass Boston starting another charge. Robert Ranta with it. The defenseman finds himself in unfamiliar territory. And the Beacons call timeout. They want to get the correct lineup in the game. As the men's lacrosse team season winds down and Little East tournament comes up, make sure to visit beaconathletics.com for updates on that and all things UMass Boston Athletics. On Twitter as well, at UMass Beacons. Also on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. But again, to find it, beaconsathletics.com. A good timeout here by head coach Tyler Lowe for the Beacons in his 7th season, a career record of 43-69. He's assisted by Jason Wellenmeyer, both Babson graduates, both Babson class of 09 as a matter of fact. Both in their 7th seasons came in together. This is a rematch of last year's second round matchup in the Little East tournament between the Beacons and the Corsairs. It's a 12-11 UMass Dartmouth victory before they ultimately fell in the next round. So the Beacons retake the field. They've got the unit they want out there. 3 minutes to go, a little too far out to talk about them getting the last shot, but I'm sure they'll take their time. Over to the far side, it goes to Matten. Matten flips it back to Tortora. Tortora. Matten looking for room. Draws the double team. Tries to kick it behind the net. It's off the butt of the stick of Calvin Lee. 20 seconds and a turnover out of the timeout. Up the near sideline to O'Brien. Has some room to run. He's going to take it. He's met by Arnold. Arnold tries to come low with the stick check. O'Brien works around it. Low waist-high cradle for the defenseman. He gets it away. Gives it over to Spangenberg. Spangenberg to the near side to Torres. Torres goes down the sideline and feeds Prozinski. Prozinski's going to retreat behind the net. Guarded back there by Matt Murphy. Comes back around to Torres. Takes a couple steps forward. They're giving him some room there at the top. He's about 7 yards off the box, now steps in. To Gallo. Gallo back up. Ball's on the ground, scooped back up. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Over to the far side. Now down to the goal line, it's Rizzo looking over his shoulder, trying to create, kicks it back out. They go to the top, Tortora. To the near side, trying to catch the Beacons over-rotating. The defense gets back in time. Back out to Gallo. Gallo out to the top. 1:20 to go in the quarter. Prozinski tries a shot from way out, and Kotzeretz squared, knocks off his chest protector, and in front of him, he's on top of it. Now maybe the Beacons look for one last possession with 1:08 to go. Close the quarter out. To the near side to Ganem. The pass up the field is knocked away, but they call a foul on UMass Dartmouth as Murphy was trying to dive for it. Was interfered with. Arnold will start with it, gets it into Caraveau. To Matten. Matten to the far side, grabs it back. Driving in is Tortora. Tortora finds some space, but is forced to spin back out. Jack O'Brien, number 2 for UMass Dartmouth, the junior defenseman, listed officially as a long stick midfielder, but has been playing mostly defense, has been all over the field today. He has single-handedly kept the Beacons at bay, it feels like. 18 seconds to go in the quarter. Beacons looking for one last try here, down to 15. Caraveau comes in on the right side, 10 seconds. Trying to cut in on the goal line. Steps back around, fires a shot. The save is made. He's in the crease. Corsairs have 6.8 seconds to get it up the field. The clock is winding, and it looks like they will just hold it as it's handed over to LaFond as the horn sounds. We've played 15 minutes, low scoring as we expected so far. UMass Boston, the lone goal, Anthony Tortora, the difference. That was just a minute and 15 seconds in. We're going to step away real quick. We'll be right back here. You are watching Little East Lacrosse on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Back for the second quarter, the teams will switch sides. UMass Boston leading 1-0 here on Little East TV and the Beacon Broadcast Network. UMass Boston now moving right to left. UMass Dartmouth moving left to right. And it's UMass Boston off the faceoff. A quick turnover. A lot of turnovers in the first. It's kind of the story of the first quarter. More here in the second. Around the edge they go, and driving in is Rizzo. Big check in front of the net. The ball's loose on the ground. They're going to award it to UMass Dartmouth. And UMass Dartmouth starting to get things reset. Flipped back over the shoulder. Thrown to the front. It comes to Torres. Torres fires a shot from about 15 yards out to his knees. Making the save as Alex Surratt was fighting for the ball. Realized he was fighting his own defenseman. Somebody calls it. They're back up now up the field. Come the Beacons looking for the breakaway. Jack Dillon into the offensive box. Shovels it off. Defense got back quickly. Again, strong transition defense from the Crosshairs. Here's a chance for the Beacons. They threw it in front. Arnold couldn't handle the pass. Now is Croy Arnold. He gives it to Clay Arnold. The brothers, both transfers from Onondaga Community College in upstate New York, both from Syracuse. And yes, Onondaga right near the Carrier Dome. That's what everybody knows Syracuse for, right? Behind the net. Arnold out to the top, cutting in his Caraveau, fakes the shot, goes the up and under, and puts it high over the net. I don't know if that was a shot, trying to tuck it under the top shelf, or a pass to Clay Arnold. They're going to rule it a shot, so the Beacons will keep the ball. Calvin Lee gets it started. The ball ends up back with Caraveau, and now to the far side to Dillon, back to Caraveau. Near side to Wollrath. Wollrath, the goal line extended behind Dillon. Rare to see the long pole behind the net, playing the X position, backing down, tries to throw it to the top. The pass is too high, scooped up by the Beacons, kept in play. Down to the goal line, it's out of the stick, in and out of the stick of Calvin Lee. He was in a great position to shoot if he could have fielded that pass. Instead, Matt LaFond ends up with it, the goaltender for UMass Dartmouth, and the Corsairs come back down. This is Matt Daly. Jack O'Brien was not on the field for that last defensive possession. He's probably been the best player in blue today. He has stifled the Beacons' attack. Near side it comes to Torres. Fakes with the right, goes to the left, now back to the right. Pass down to the goal line, man left uncovered. Defense closes quickly. That was DJ Miller. Miller's pass goes wide, Beacon ball. Matt Murphy, the closest one, he'll pick it up. Murphy to Surratt. Surratt up to Tortora, has the lone goal in this game. And that came less than 2 minutes in. Drives into the defender, no give. He leaves it for Wollrath. Wollrath trying to decide what to do on O'Brien. Looking to pass, gets it to Caravo over the top. Nice over-the-shoulder catch. Caravo spins past his defenseman, creates enough space to get this pass across to Arnold. Arnold with the one-handed left-hand cradle. Around a double team, a flag down behind the play. The Beacons will go a man up here momentarily. Next dead ball or the next time the Corsairs touch it. They're going to get Lee in for the extra offense. Backing down is Arnold. Sees Lee has come into the game and gets him the ball. Lee with the right hand, switches to the left, fires a shot. Save made by Matt LaFond, and the Beacons will go a man up for the first time. The penalty will go, let's hear it. It's going to be 25 or 8. No, now they have a couple guys running off. It is a 30-second penalty, a holding penalty on Spagenberg. So with 10:41 to go in the second quarter, our first man-up opportunity game goes to the Beacons. They're 12 for 54 this year in man-up chances. That's good for 22%. Pass comes near side. Around they go. Over to Lee, and they're going to redo this because the clock was not running. Now it is. They're going to reset it to 10:41. Here we go, all set. They get it to Lee. Lee near side to Caravo. Caravo. Back up to Lee. Lee fakes the pass. Now comes to the slot to Wollrath. Back to Lee. Lee down to the goal line extended. Put it low. Wanted Sam Madden who couldn't handle it. And one would assume the Corsairs here will take their time coming up the field to kill off the remainder of these 30 seconds. They don't have the penalty clock up on the scoreboard, but let's see. It was at 10:41, so they only have 10 seconds left to kill off. We'll keep an eye on Scott Spangenberg, see when he comes back in, but appears the Beacons will start their man-up day 0 for 1. And the penalty's over, officially back to 6-on-6. Pass comes to Torres. Torres to Rizzo. Rizzo with the left-handed cradle, guarded by Tortora. Kicks it out to the far side to Torres. Behind the net, Przinski. Corsairs with a little bit of urgency here. Titus driving in. Met by the defense, had to stick up like he was going to shoot, but ended up in a precarious position. Titus to Rizzo. Back to Titus. To the far side to Torres. Torres down the goal line extended. The ball gets away from and then picked back up by Przinski. To Titus. To Rizzo. Back to Titus. Titus thought about the shot. Gets it in front. And a nice save going to his knees was Alex Surratt on the point-blank shot from Austin Titus. Keeps our score at 1-0, 8:55 to go here in the second quarter. Beacons into the offensive third, into the box. Behind the net is Arnold. He's backtracking. Looking to come around the edge. That's Calvin Lee with him behind the net. Arnold spins off his man, tries to go to the middle. He had Wollrath cutting behind the defense, but didn't put enough on the pass to get it across the crease. Now this pass sails wide. Chance for the Beacons to at least put some pressure on in their offensive zone, but the Corsairs break it, 8:18 to go in a 1-0 first half. To the near side to Daly. Daly starts and stops. Over to Rizzo. Rizzo left-handed cradle. Switches to the right. And gets it over to Jordan Torres. Torres now with the right hand. Back to Rizzo. Rizzo shuffles it to Gallo. Gallo down to the goal line extended. Gets it back. Out to the top to Rizzo. Rizzo hesitates. Defense meets him quickly. They're putting pressure on Rizzo today when he gets the ball. Trying to force him to give it up. In it comes to Torres. Looking for space is met by Ranta. And the Corsairs throw it away again. 7:19 to go in the first half. A 1-0 UMass Boston lead. Torres over midfield, has himself some space. Charging in, gets the corner. Comes around the back of the net. He's going to look to wrap around, and the edge is sealed off. Looked for a second like he might have that. But he gets pushed back out. Defensive play there by Anthony Gallo. Arnold lowering the left shoulder, trying to work his way in. Now a second defender comes to help. He's forced to give it up. And a timeout on the field. Taken by UMass Boston. 6:42 to go in half number one. It's the Beacons with a 1-0 lead. The only goal coming off the stick of Anthony Tortora. That was less than 2 minutes in to the first. It was with a minute 17. Is that the number? A minute 17 into the game, we had our first goal. It looks like we might be in for a high-scoring affair, but talked about at the top of the broadcast, two defensive teams. The defense has prevailed. Big possession for the Beacons. Taking a look at the conference standings, Keene State was projected to finish atop the conference. It looks like they'll do just that in the regular season, cruising at 7-0, 14-4 in the year. Behind them is Eastern Connecticut, who is 5-2 in conference, 10-7 overall. UMass Boston is next, although it looks like it is listed incorrectly on the website, and it is. It's Keene State at 8-3, 3-0 in conference. Then Plymouth State, who joins them at 3-0. Tortora out of the timeout. Trying to get it across. It's knocked down. Getting there in time is Careville. Last time the Beacons called a timeout, they promptly turned the ball over. Madden lobs it behind the net to Lee. We've yet to see him with the ball much today. And making his way back from injury is 12 points in 4 games. Throws it in front to Arnold. Wanted the one-timer. It wasn't there. Beacons maintain possession. Near side to Madden. Trying to get around the edges toward Tortora. Back out to Careville. Over to Madden. Madden fires from way outside. It's wide. Beacons will keep it. Felt like they're getting ready to put the stall warning on. So not a bad shot from the Beacons, despite it being from distance. Careville back near the midfield logo, the BC logo, of course, shared field, James Carter Field, between UMass Boston and Boston College High School, which sits directly behind us. I think slightly to the left as well. It's a big school, big building. Coming around the edge. Now getting it out to Lee. Lee wants to shoot. He does, right into the stick of Matt LaFond. It might have been wide. Even if he got it on net, the pass goes wide. Beacons were subbing out. Didn't realize the ball was at their feet. It's scooped up by Ranta. UMass Boston keeps possession. 5 minutes to go in the first half, leading 1-0. Caravo to Lee. Lee looking around, gets it off, gives it to Mulligan. Mulligan to Tortora. Here's Tortora off to his right. Down to Arnold, behind the net to Lee, fakes to his left, moves to his right, kicks it back out. Around they go, Tortora, and now over to Caravo on a hop. Spins away from the overly aggressive defense, loses the ball. If not, he would have had room to shoot about 10 yards out, dead ahead. Under 4.5 to go in the first half. Tortora in a light jog on the far sideline, behind the net to Wollrath. Starts and stops. Spins back around, thought about working his way in front, didn't have the angle. Caravo behind the net to Tortora. Tortora up to Mulligan. Mulligan to Tortora. Start the shot clock. Shot clock is on. 3:38 on the game clock. Beacons have 26 seconds to shoot. Behind the net to go out to the top. Tortora, here's a good chance. He bounces one high and wide. Beacons now with 18 seconds to shoot. 3:26 to go in the half. Tortora lowers the left shoulder. 6 seconds to shoot. 5 seconds. He fires one in. Stopped by the goalie. They're going to reset the shot. They were ready to reset it, but nonetheless it was UMass Dartmouth who came up with the rebound. Under 3 minutes to go in the half.
Very good job, Keanu. Well, it helps that you can actually see the clock.
This is Tony Breslin. Breslin gets it over to Rizzo. Rizzo with a right-handed cradle. To Torres. Torres back to Rizzo. Rizzo to Gallo. Gallo around the edge. They continue to move the ball around. It's Rizzo with the left hand trying to fight his way through a double team. Somehow holds on to the ball. It almost looked like he wanted to shoot through that. He draws the flag. The Beacons will go a man down momentarily with under 2 minutes to go. UMass Dartmouth with a real chance to tie it up before the half. There's the shot high and wide. But for UMass Dartmouth, their first man-up opportunity of the day couldn't have come at a better time. 1:53 to go until halftime. They trailed 1-0. So far, a scoreless second quarter.
22 for a slash.
We've been scoreless for about 27 minutes.
UMass Boston penalty number 22, Jack Dillon, 1 minute for slashing.
Jack Dillon's going to take it. He'll go for a minute. So we'll have a minute of 6-on-5 and then 52 seconds at full strength. UMass Dartmouth this year, 15 for 61 when they're a man up, converting 25% of the time. That's a good number. Not great, but you'll live with it. Gallo to the far side. Continuing to move the ball a little more quickly now, a little more urgency from the Corsairs. Up a man, time winding down in the half. Over to the far side to Torres. Torres bounces one over the net. 1:18 to go. Sean Peters will trigger. We haven't heard much from him today. Corsairs leading scorer, 21 goals, 12 assists. Here's DJ Miller. They bring it out to the top. Pass across the crease. Gallo. Down to the goal line extended. Tripped up. It's going to be another flag. Beacons are going to go down 2 men. Robert Ranta's stick got caught low. It may not have been intentional, but it was clearly a trip. He was following through on a stick check. So the only question is, if this is a minute penalty, and it is 30 seconds, if it had been a minute, instead of having a face-off to start the second half, the Corsairs would have gotten to start with the ball on their offensive half of the field, so the Beacons dodge a bullet, taking just a 30-second penalty. And now we will have to wait till 20 seconds for them to go back to full strength. Jack Dillon right on the edge of the field getting ready to come back in. His penalty is over, so just a momentary 6-on-4. We're now back to 6-on-5. Open in the slot and a score. We're tied. The goal by DJ Miller. And the assist will go to Jordan Torres. A couple of costly penalties. One on Jack Dillon, one on Robert Ranta, gives UMass Dartmouth, whose offense had been silent, a chance late in the first half with 42.3 to go until halftime. We are all knotted up. And it's picked up by Breslin. With 35 seconds left, now UMass Dartmouth thinking about their first lead of the game. Beacons have led for most of it. A big check, another flag. It's going to go on Dillon again. He got overly physical on the far side. And this one will most definitely carry over to the second half. Corsairs, though, will, I believe, take the timeout in order to get the substitution in. Nope. It was a dead ball whistle.
UMass Boston penalty number 22, Jack Dillon, 30-second penalty for holding.
30 seconds, so well, it will only carry over 10 seconds into the second half. It does mean that the Beacons will not get a chance for a face-off to open the half.
Yeah,
13 seconds left. Moving it around quickly. Down to 7 seconds. To the middle to Torres. He's got to shoot. He does. He bounced it wide. 3 seconds left. It's going to have to be a catch and shoot for the Corsairs. Clock says 2.3. And UMass Dartmouth will just run it out. Through 30 minutes, nothing decided. A man-up goal for UMass Dartmouth late makes it 1-1 in a defensive affair here at James Cotter Field. Goals so far in this one for UMass Boston. Anthony Tortora, minute 17 in, unassisted. And then late in the half, DJ Miller from Jordan Torres. That was Miller's 11th of the year. For Torres, his 5th assist, his 25th point. As these teams keep it knotted up, and they will separate for 10 minutes. It's a little chilly today, but it was baseball weather this past weekend, especially on Monday. Beautiful day on Monday, Marathon Monday. UMass Dartmouth UMass Boston, baseball team was in action against Roger Williams. We'll show you those highlights now.
Open up the champagne. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold and cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We have to go around. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay.
My first year was in Foster.
Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. Sometimes you gotta stay, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay, welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down, we don't have to go out. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now, we don't have to go out. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me, it's my home, draining the sand. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. Mi casa es tu casa, so it ain't no holding back. Another shot of vodka, you know what's in my glass. This is my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down, we don't have to go around. Welcome to my house, play the music too loud. Show me what you.
So the Beacons take that one 11-5 right now. They find themselves knotted at 1 with UMass Dartmouth and Alex Barth on Little East TV. Take a look at the stats, how it breaks down. Shots are about even. So they say it's pretty much everything right down the middle, as you'd expect in a 1-1 game. The killer is the man up right now. 3 penalties all coming in the final 2 minutes against the Beacons. Give the Corsairs what they need to knot this game up at 1. Take a look around Beaconville now, see what else is going on today. They're in the 4th inning in Salem. Baseball with a 3-2 lead. Softball will be taking on Salem State tomorrow at 3:30. You can get coverage of that right here on Little East TV. Men's tennis Saturday at 1 against Western Connecticut State. As again, in most of these sports, baseball go a little longer. Most of these sports, conference play starting to wind down. Speaking of softball, they picked up a big win yesterday over Keene State. Second game of a doubleheader. How fresh are they looking? Let's take a look.
Hands up in the air. I just want the baddest bitch in the world right here on my lap. And I'ma hit this drink up like it's my last. I'ma hit this night up like it's my last. I'ma like it's my last. I swear I'ma do it like I never had it at. Like I never had it at. Like I never had it at.
Okay, now with that alcohol, you ain't even gotta ask. Cause I'ma drink it all like it's my last. She is 7 in the face, but a 10 in the air. She even look better by the end of my glass. See, I'm just walking fresher than the search off in this mode. I'ma need the baddest bra to twerk off in this mode. I'ma go hard until it hurts off in this mode. I'm a boss, so you gotta work off in this mode. Have to work, and I could get you anything you want. I could put you on. See, you look like Beyonce, so do it like Beyonce. Do it like Beyonce and put it on. Sean, grind hard, but got a lot to show for it. Always had drive like I had to show for it. My team's so true, we should get a camera crew to follow us around and make the show for
I'ma
us.
hit this drink up like it's my last. I'ma hit this night up like it's my last. I'ma like it's my last. I swear I'ma do it like I never had it at. Like I never had it at all. Like I never had it at all. Like I never had it at all.
Now I'ma fill this glass up like it's my last.
Hands up in the air. I just want the baddest bitch in the world right here on my lap. And I'ma hit this drink up like it's my last. I'ma hit this night up like it's my last. I'ma like it's my last. I'ma swear I'ma do it like I never had it at. Like I never had it at. Like I never had it at.
Battle of the two first place teams, it is. So Keene State all over that, and Southern Maine up on Salem State, who will be the Beacons' final road opponent, Salem State, next week. They trail 3-1. Beacons' final two opponents, Salem State and Southern Maine. We are going to step aside real quick one more time. We'll come back with the second half. Keep it here. You're watching Little East TV. Welcome back to James Cotter Field. As we get ready for the second half, a shot high and wide from Jordan Torres. Again, the Beacons still have Jack Dillon serving a penalty. That is why there was no opening faceoff. That's why the Corsairs start with the ball on their offensive half of the field. It's a 1-1 game if you're just joining us. My name is Alex Barth. You're watching Little East TV. The Beacons struck first. They struck early with 1:17. Just 1:17 into the game before UMass Dartmouth scored in the final minute on a man-up chance. And we're now back at full strength. The Corsairs wearing dark blue jerseys with white numbers. They are moving right to left across your screen. The Beacons right now on defense in their home whites moving left to right. Trying to get it around. They get it over to Jordan Torres. Torres comes in with the left hand, steps out, goes back, goal line extended. Back up it comes to Torres. He's guarded by Arnold. Around to the far side they go. Stepping up with the defense is Ranta. Here's Anthony Gallo. Gallo guarded by Tortora, gives it away, gets it back. Shuffles it to Torres. Torres falls down, gets back up, maintains possession. Arnold was right there on him. Over to the far side it goes. Now getting it down to the goal line. Ball's on the ground, scooped up by the freshman Robert Ranta momentarily. He loses it. The Corsairs get it back. The pass to the middle. The shot saved by Surratt. Ball loose in front. Scrum for it. Still fighting. It rolls by Surratt, by the net. And it's scooped up by Matt Murphy. Boy, had that ball rolled out of the pile slightly to the right. I don't think Surratt saw it. It would have been a very soft goal for UMass Dartmouth. 13 minutes to go in quarter number 3 of a tie ball game, 1-1. Over to the far side it goes to Ranta. Ranta to the middle of the Tortora. Spins by a defender over midfield. Charging in, has some space, picks the stick up, fires, foot save, made by LaFawn. You don't see that often in lacrosse. It's not easy to take that ball off your foot, but he kicked it with the inside of his heel to keep the game at 1-1. Didn't have time to get his stick down. Did not expect Tortora to be shooting from there. They get it back to the middle to LaFawn. The experience paying the senior well there. Trying to move the offense around as Lucas as he wants to get this one away. Instead, he'll carry it across himself. Wants to get rid of it, loses the ball. It's rolling near the sideline in front of the Beacon bench. There are the whistles from the officials, and it will be Beacon ball. Arnold there. Has room up the sideline, has his space. Gets it up to his brother. That was Croy to Clay. Clay backtracking. Ends up near the sideline, gives it off to Caraveau. Caraveau to the middle to Tortora. Tortora back to Caraveau. 11:43 to go in the third quarter. Pass to the top to Tortora. Switches from the right hand to the left. Coming up with it is Tortora, gives it to Matten. Matten guarded from a distance by Spangenberg. He's committed the lone penalty for the Corsairs today. Matten over the shoulder pass to Caraveau behind the net. Caraveau gets by the defender, throws it in front to Arnold, gets bumped by the goaltender, ball loose in the crease. Arnold has a beat on it. He comes up with it. That is 3 or 4 times Clay Arnold has cut to the net. And either he hasn't been able to handle the pass, they haven't been able to get it to him. It's a difficult pass to make, perhaps the most difficult in lacrosse. But the play is there for the Beacons if they can execute. Expect them to go back to it. And they will leave Clay Arnold, number 7 in white, in front of the net here as they get set up. Lee backing his way in, fires a shot over the shoulder, off balance and wide. .10:17 to go in the third. Again, Calvin Lee back from injury. He's played just 4 games, has recorded 12 points, 10 of those goals. Tortora looking around. Pat Lucas steps up on him. Caraveau to Matten. Matten back to Caraveau, over to the far side. Tortora coming in with the right hand, hesitates. Spins back, uses the left. Caraveau up to Matten. Matten to the near side to Tortora. Tortora puts the shoulder down, spins over the left side, goes back to the right. High pass for Lee. He handles it, flings it back out. Shot clock is on. 30 seconds here for the Beacons to shoot. Tortora back behind to Wollrath. Wollrath with 15 on the clock. They've killed half it off behind the net. Wollrath in front to Arnold. Passes it there. Caraveau scoops it up. He shoots. The save is made. LaFawn has it under control. Up the far side comes Tony Breslin. 8:45 to go in the third. Wind really picking up. Right now the Corsairs have it at their back. Gallo to his right with space as the Beacons are in a substitution. Behind the net and coming to the near side to Brzezinski. Rizzo to Torres. Torres a couple steps back, hopping backwards, now comes in on Arnold. Goes to the left hand, creating space, flips back around with the right to the middle. Faking it back to Torres was DJ Miller. Now on the far side, trying to get it in front. The pass isn't there. They go behind the net to Brzezinski. Brzezinski looking for an edge, throws it out to the top. Torres. Again, Arnold on him. Out to Rizzo. Rizzo looking back for Torres, has him. Torres going to wind this one up. Back to Rizzo's going to wind up. He's going to shoot, and he scores. Mike Rizzo from Jordan Torres. And it's the first lead of the game for the Corsairs. It comes with 7:40 to go in the second half. Second assist for Jordan Torres. Now 5 and 6 on the year. It's the first goal of the year for the first goal of the game for Mike Rizzo. His 10th of the season. Now up to 12 points. For the first time today, the Beacons will play from behind. Really haven't even, they played most of the game from ahead, all but a minute and 17, and then they were tied there for a bit. Scooped up off the faceoff, trying to answer, no rebound, shot, yes, tie game. Jack Dillon, after the initial shot from Eric Wollrath, was saved. They'll give Wollrath the assist. And just like that, we are quickly tied back at 2. How about that? For Dillon, his 6th goal of the year for Longstick Midi. That's a big number. And now his 12th game. A big hit at midfield as Matt Murphy gets leveled. That's a big guy to take down. 6'2", $175. Multiple bodies hitting the deck now. As Murphy goes back for a little revenge shot, the Beacons end up with the ball. Over to the far side to Calvin Lee. Tempo picking up here. Lee, guarded by Daly, steps back, and he will slow the game down. Hidden ball trick from the Beacons had the Corsairs fooled momentarily, but they couldn't get the ball in the position to shoot. Arnold coming around at the top. Right-handed pass. Behind the net to Dillon. Dillon's going to try again, off balance shot, saved by LaFond. Acrobatic shot by Jack Dillon, but LaFond squared him up. 6:25 to go in the third. 2-2 your score. We were 1-1 at the half. First quarter, we've seen multiple goals today. Dillon picks up the ground ball. Gets it up to Wollrath. Wollrath, Lee, the unconventional shot after the behind-the-back cradle goes wide. Arnold has it. We've seen the behind-the-back pass from Calvin Lee today. Tries to take the defense away with the lazy cradle shot there. Going for some of the Globetrotter-type moves. Matten with the left hand. Comes into the center of the field. He has a break on the defender. He's going to wind up to shoot. Bounced it wide. It hit off Calvin Lee. He can't find it. And it's Matten getting his own rebound all the way from the front of the net. Out to Arnold. Arnold's going to shoot. Bounced it wide. Back for possession was LaFond. It will be Corsairs ball with 5:29 to go in the quarter. Tied up at 2. It's been a fantastic defensive battle. Although we saw 2 goals in the last minute. One for each team, one coming from Mike Rizzo. That was Dartmouth's goal, and UMass Boston's goal coming from Jack Dillon. Here's Rizzo with the ball now. He falls over, retains himself. Torres gets it out. Up to the top, Jordan Torres. With the left-hand pass behind the net, Przinski back to Torres. Torres wants to shoot off angle. It goes by the net. Surratt may have gotten a piece of it. Either way, it was not a threat. Under 4.5 to go in the quarter. To the top it comes to Torres. Torres to the middle. Another shot. Surratt right in the stick. He likes to go to his knees to make those saves. Almost like a baseball slide in the crease when he goes down to get those low ones. Matt Murphy back to Surratt. He'll go over to the far side with it. Gain to the middle to Arnold. Arnold bobbles. Over to Murphy. Has 3 assists on the year. Up to Caraveau. Caraveau breaks to the middle of the field. Now is pushed back. Joe Mariano supplying the D. Near side to Matten. Matten to his left. Flips it to Tortora. That pass is almost knocked down. Tortora's going to have a jump on the defender, charging in through the middle. Uses a spin move, gets by a man, has the stick hooked. No call, ball on the ground. Good defense by Patrick Lucas, senior from Brookfield, Massachusetts, using every inch of that extended defenseman pole. 3:15 to go in the quarter. We are tied at 2. If you're just joining us, UMass Boston and UMass Dartmouth on Little East TV. Thanks for joining us, spending part of your Wednesday afternoon listening to me yap. Turnover, and it's going to be UMass Boston coming the other way. Arnold with it. 2:55 to go in the quarter. Little urgency here. Arnold across the crease. He left it for Wollrath, who looked to shoot before the ball was in his stick. He put it on the turf. Would have been a fantastic chance. A windy, overcast day in Boston. Following a couple days of just spectacular spring weather, this shot goes high and wide. Under 2.5 to go in the third. Peters looking for space behind the net. Gets it out to Torres, wants to shoot. Defense closes quickly. Clay Arnold there. Now Torres steps all the way back out. Calls out a play. Torres from the same spot. This time he will shoot. He bounced it a little too early. It will stay with UMass Dartmouth. Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Backing around is Miller. And he threw it right into a stick. It's scooped up by Robert Ranta. Among the leaders in caused turnovers on this Beacons team this year. Surratt behind his net. Rearranges the defense and then lobs one well up the field to Ranta. Ranta to Arnold. Arnold to Tortora getting set up with 1:25 to go in the quarter. Matten checks into the game. He gets the ball. 12 guarding 12. It's Spangenberg on him. Caraveau to Matten. Matten to Clay Arnold. Arnold in front. Over to the far side it goes to Adam Caraveau. Caraveau to the middle. Charging in, shooting, bouncing it over the top of the net was Tortora. 38.8 to go in the third quarter. Will we go to the fourth? Still tied. Lee hesitates out to the top. Caraveau. Caraveau to Matten. Matten behind the net. to Wollrath. And a turnover. Wollrath may have stepped in the crease. 16 seconds for the Corsairs to try to figure something out. The clock is running. LaFawn looking up the net. At the end of quarters, they've had the ball twice at the end of quarters. They've just held it. They haven't put any pressure on. They'll do so here. Up the field, coming in with 3 seconds to go. Now they're going to have to shoot it from well out, lobs it towards the net, high and away. And that will do it for the third quarter as we make the turn for home. It's UMass Boston 2, UMass Dartmouth 2. Keep it here. You're watching men's lacrosse on Little East TV. Back for a decisive fourth quarter here. Coming up with the opening win is UMass Dartmouth. And the ball rolled all the way back toward the Beacon net and scooped up. The lowest scoring game the Beacons have ever played was a 3-2 win over Riviere, you said? Riviere. In sub-freezing temperatures. Little warmer today, but there's a chance that this one could tie that. Bad turnover by Jack Dillon. The Beacons wearing the home whites, moving right to left. UMass Dartmouth with the ball now, moving left to right in their road blues. Teams have alternated goals. Nobody's had more than a one-goal lead so far today. Rizzo backtracks. Gives it over to Torres. Torres waiting around, looking, flips it over the shoulder to Rizzo. Rizzo guarded by Arnold, trying to force his way into the middle. Puts the shoulder down, puts the ball on the ground. Rolling wide, it's scooped up momentarily by the Beacons. Still loose, rolling towards the sideline. That ball's still in bounds somehow, with all the players poking at it. A big check away from the ball, and that may be what does it. The Beacons will grab it. Starting to get a little chippy here late, which is what you expect in a close game, especially between two conference teams. Surrett the lob up to Dillon. He has the most recent goal in this game, the second goal of the game for the Beacons, his 6th of the season. Tortora. Back to Madden. Back to Tortora. Oh, he lost it. And as Spangenberg started to step up, he grabbed it quickly. Looked the way it hit off his stick. It was going to bounce away from him, but the ball just kind of died on the turf. Made it easy to scoop back up. Some back and forth. It ends up with Mulligan.
Be ready on the shot clock. Hit reset too.
Around they go. Out to the top it comes. Matten. Moving to his right. Underhanded pass. Nifty little shuffle there. Bounce to Calvin Lee. Trying to get the edge. Fakes going behind the back to his left. Shoots to his right. Save made by Matt LaFond. Spangenberg gets it started. 12:08 to go in regulation. Here comes Rizzo. Rizzo to Przinski. Behind the net, it's Miller. Now Titus. Titus to the far side to Gallo. Gallo down to the goal line extended. Looking back, they get it back to him. Was about to throw it to Austin Titus, then realized he was subbing out. Behind the net, it's Przinski. To Gallo. Cutting back around. Over to Rizzo. Rizzo getting pushed back by Caravo. 11 minutes to go in regulation. Behind the net to Peters. And the shot clock is on. First time it's been on against UMass Dartmouth today. Beacons have had it a couple times. Down to the goal line extended. Behind the net they go. Back around to the top. Off angle, no shot. Out to Torres. Torres with 15 on the clock. Gets it to Titus. Titus is going to shoot from high over his head. Bounced it well over the net. They won't reset the shot clock with 10 to go. Coming around the backside. Thrown out to the top. Another shot. It hits a defender in front. And Surratt grabs it. Who did hit in front as I try to track him down the field? Wait till you turn and we see the number. I think it was Jim Gannum, the junior defenseman from Medfield, Massachusetts, on the cover of today's program. Gannum has it now. Retreating behind the net, and the Beacons will take a timeout. Tyler Lowe wants to get the right personnel in, knowing in this game every possession means something. Tied at 2 with 9:57 to go in the fourth quarter. We're going to step aside real quick. We'll be back on the other side of this timeout. You're watching the Beacons and the Corsairs on Little East TV. Out of the timeout, tie game 2-2, 9:57 to go in the fourth. Beacons will send out, it looks like, let's see here, Clay Arnold, Mike Mulligan, Eric Wollrath, Sam Matton, Adam Caravo, and I think I got everybody there. Oh, and Calvin Lee. So those are the 6 for the Beacons here. I mean, still time left, but points at a premium. That shot goes wide of the net. Lee has it. I'm sure Tyler Lowe taking that time to draw up something. Try to get the lead now so you don't have to be as aggressive later in the game. Beacons looking to improve to 500 in conference for UMass Dartmouth. They're trying to grab their first conference win of the year. Over to Caravo. Caravo flips it back to Matton. Matten behind the net to Lee. Lee out to Wollrath. Hesitates, scooping up and under. Flips it back to Mulligan. Mulligan to Lee. Lee backing down, can't get through the double team. Carvo back to Matten. 8:42 to go in regulation. Matten's going to shoot from well outside. Misses high and wide. Mostly high. The wind really picking up now. You can hear it whipping outside of the booth. But the Beacons, for better or worse, the wind at their backs here. I would argue for better. For the fourth quarter, there's a shot. Yeah, bounced it off the foot of a defender. I was going to say bounced it too soon, but the way Joe Mariano jumping around a bit. Looks like he got it off the foot. Still, though, the ball should not have been that near the ground that early. Carvo, though, knows how to score. His 24 points in his freshman campaign. 14 of those are goals. That pass gets away. That is the downside to having the wind at your back. The ball's going to carry on you. Walking the ball up is LaFond. LaFond to Gallo. Gallo touches into the box. High behind the net, but handled. To Torres. Torres over to Gallo, back to Torres. Down to Rizzo. Rizzo throws it away. It's going to go out of bounds. Arnold will grab it and try to get this started again quickly before the defense can get back. Into the middle with momentum is Dillon. Dillon across to Lee. Lee in front, one-on-one. There's the shot. Did he tuck it in the bottom corner, waiting for the signal from the official? Yes. The Beacons have the lead. The assist is going to go to Calvin Lee. What was the official score on that? So Lee gets the assist, and the goal goes to Eric Wollrath, his third of the year. His second point of the game. He has tied his season high. Or he has tied his season total, pardon me. He had 2 points coming in, 2 points today. And a nice job once he got the goaltender one-on-one look. LaFont squared him up well, but just to wrap it around the ankle and stay outside of the crease. And now it's the Beacons with a 3-2 lead. They have 7 minutes and 18 seconds to kill off the clock. LaFont looking up the field. If the score holds, it would be tied for the lowest scoring game in UMass Boston lacrosse history. Breslin backing around, loses the ball. Has it at his feet. It's knocked away by Dillon. Popped up in the air. Pursuing it and grabbing it is Tortora. He's got speed going up the far sideline. Tortora behind the net to Wollrath. Wollrath to Arnold. Arnold to Carvo up top. Carvo to Matten. Backing down is Lee. Lee spins off the man, had the space for a second. Catching up with him was Daly. And he bounced it up to Tortora. You can tell that knee's still bothering him a bit. Tortora moving to his right, under 6 minutes to go in the game. Beacons with a 1-goal lead in the ball. Getting the lead just a moment ago on Eric Wollrath's first goal of the game. Calvin Lee's first assist. Over it comes to Matten. Matten to Carvo. Carvo back to Matten. Shot clock is on. 5:24 on the game clock. And it's grabbed by LaFont. Trying to get up the field, sent it too far. There's going to be a big scrum for this one at midfield. Corsairs come up with it. They had Reardon McCall sprinting up the middle of the field, but didn't get it to him. Here's Mike Rizzo. Rizzo down to Gallo. Gallo with the right hand, switches to his left. Up to the top and back over. 4:42 showing on the clock. Rizzo. Near side to Gallo. Gallo back to Rizzo. Rizzo to the far side to Przinski. And it's turned over. Tortora gets by the defense. Beacons will take their time setting up. You would assume they can get it under 4, maybe under 3.5, depending on when the shot clock comes on here in this possession. 4:14 to go, wrapping around in front, looking for Lee. I don't know if that was a shot from Dillon. He adjusted midair, tried to get it to Lee. We've seen him go airborne a couple times today. That time, though, he turns it over. Maybe not worth the risk up one. If that works, you finish. That might be the game. I'll leave that for you to debate at home. This is Tom Donahue. With 6 points on the season, Donahue flips it back to Austin Titus. Titus thought about going to Donahue, doesn't. Instead goes to Gallo. Gallo to the far side, goal line extended. Przinski to Gallo, up to Donahue. Donahue now to the middle. Spinning off a defender, looking for spaces. Peters pass it out. There's the shot. It goes high. Under 3.5 to go. DJ Miller with it. Donahue turns it over. Coming up the field is Jack Dillon. Full steam ahead to Calvin Lee. Lee hesitates. Underhand pass to Dillon. Dillon over his shoulder to Arnold. The goal! What a play by Jack Dillon, orchestrating what gives the Beacons a 2-goal lead and probably the ball game.
UMass Boston goal scored by number 7, Clay Arnold. Assist by number 22, Jack Dillon.
For Dillon, his second point, his first assist. For Arnold, his first point today, his 18th goal of the year. And now the Corsairs have to get aggressive, down 2 with 3 minutes to go. The rule of thumb is, as long as you have a minute to score each goal you're down, I mean, you're not in good shape, but it's doable. So they have a minute more than what they need right now, but that's a big face-off win for Matt Murphy, who's had himself a nice day at the dot. That pass sails high, looking for Calvin Lee, tracking it near the sideline, but it gets past. It was at number 9, it looked like, Eric Wollrath. Under 3 minutes to go. Corsairs down 2. Beacons with 2 goals in the fourth quarter. We started this frame tied. Pass comes to Tortora. Now over to Rizzo. And a timeout is called by UMass Dartmouth. 2:21 showing on the clock. And the Beacons really just need to hold them for this possession. If you can get the ball back one more time, kill the clock, you'll probably get under a minute. And then with a 2-goal lead, you can let them score once. Not that you're going to, let them score, but you're in much better shape. See if the Corsairs dial up one of their leading scorers. Their 3 leading scorers. Jordan Torres in 30 has 2 assists today, no goals, but that's uncharacteristic for him. Came in today with 20 goals, just 4 assists. Donovan Przinski, their second leading scorer with 32 points. He has been held scoreless today, no points. Sean Peters, their leading scorer, 33 on the season, averaging 3 points a game. He has not recorded a point. So really nothing from the elite of the Dartmouth lineup. You have DJ Miller with a point. He has 16 on the year. Mike Rizzo with a point, 11 on the year. So the middle of the pack guys, the supplementary guys have been there. But the ones you count on have yet to show up on the stat sheet. 2:21 to go. They break the timeout. Austin Titus will trigger on the near side. Titus with the left hand and passes it over to Torres. Torres to the middle to Rizzo. Rizzo with the right hand, trying to switch back to the left, guarded by Clay Arnold. With the right hand, back out to Rizzo. Rizzo, as we have a player slow to get up in the middle of the field, took a good shot. That's Sean Peters limping around in the middle. And if this play was drawn up for him, that's going to be an issue. Peters trying to get to the sideline. Pass to the middle to Titus. Back out to the far side. Peters makes it to the sideline and falls down on his hands and knees. There's the shot from the outside. It goes wide. The one thing Peters did in making it off the field was not force his team to burn their second time out. The shot comes out to Rizzo. He has a lane. He fires. Saved by Surrett. 1:29 to go. Beacons trying to hold on to that 2-goal lead. Back to Torres. Torres guarded by Dillon. Coming around the edge, goes behind the net. Out to Donahue. Donahue to Titus. Titus' shot. The Corsairs will keep possession. Here's Torres. Rizzo from the slot misses wide. Not to play doctor. They're working on Peters. And it looks like they're working on his side, the rib area. Took a good shot. He got stood up. Hopefully he's okay. Rizzo draws the double team. He loses the ball. And the Beacons have it. Robert Ranta. With 35 seconds on the clock, it comes across to Arnold, and the Beacons can just turn this into a game of keep away here. A nice little bounce pass from Arnold, and they'll walk out with the win. 22 seconds as it's Clay Arnold sprinting around in the back corner. Surprised to see UMass Dartmouth not pull the goalie. And the Beacons call a timeout. Looked like Arnold had space with just 16 seconds to go to run it out.
Timeout, UMass Boston.
Patalo wants to make sure that they kick this 3-game losing streak. When they do, they will improve to 5-7 on the year. UMass Dartmouth will fall to 3-9. Beacons will go to 2-2 in the conference. UMass Dartmouth to 0-4. Goals in this one. The first one came from Anthony Tortora, minute 17 in. We were then scoreless till the very end of the first half, when DJ Miller got an assist from Jordan Torres to tie it, and we were knotted going into halftime. UMass Dartmouth briefly in the third quarter, took a 2-1 lead. Mike Rizzo on the assist from Jordan Torres. Torres with 2 points. Beacon scored less than a minute later. Jack Dillon on the assist from Eric Wollrath. Wollrath then netted a goal of his own halfway through the fourth quarter to give the Beacons the lead. And then most recently, Clay Arnold on the assist from Jack Dillon with the insurance. Multiple points in the game for Jack Dillon, a goal and an assist. Eric Wollrath, a goal and an assist. And for UMass Dartmouth, Jordan Torres, 2 assists. 10 seconds left on the clock. Dillon tries to get it to Wollrath. He can't handle it. A little bit of extracurriculars. The ball shoots wide. With 3 seconds on the clock, though, it's not going to matter. Knocked in bounds by Adam Caraveau, and that is your ball game. 4-2, UMass Boston picks up the win. They kicked the 3-game losing streak. They improved to 5-7 and 2-2 in the Little East. So what's ahead for the Beacons? 3 more games in the regular season as they try to improve their standing in the Little East Conference heading into the conference tournament. They will host Plymouth State on Saturday. We will be with you for that one. I will be on the call. They will be at Salem State a week from today at 7 o'clock, a 3 o'clock start, I should tell you, on Saturday. They will be at Salem State next week, a 7 o'clock start, and then it will be senior day, except they don't have any seniors. One senior, A.J. Cliff the goalie, so it will be senior day, April 28th against Southern Maine, a 7 o'clock start for that one. Before we have, do we have the final stats? Yes, we do. All right, well, they're putting those in. Just to go over it again, points in this one. Let's just go numerically here. We'll start with the UMass Dartmouth. 2 assists for Jordan Torres. That brings the season total to 6. His season point total to 26. DJ Miller with a goal. That brings the season total to 11. His season point total to 17. Mike Rizzo with a goal as well. Brings his season total to 10. His season point total to 12. For UMass Boston, Calvin Lee with an assist. That brings his season total to 3. His season point total to 13. Clay Arnold with a goal. That brings his season total to 18. His season point total to 25. Eric Wollrath with 2 points, a goal and an assist. That gives him 3 goals and an assist on the year for a total of 4 points. He matched his season total coming into today in points. Anthony Tortora scored a goal that brings his season total to 4. His season point total to 7. Jack Dillon with a goal and an assist now. 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points on the year for the Long Stick Midi, having a fantastic junior campaign. That's the kid from Barrington, Rhode Island. Penalties in this one. There were a few, mostly at the end of the first half for the Beacons. 2 by Jack Dillon and Robert Ranta. UMass Dartmouth took advantage of one of those. They were 1 for 3 in the man-up. The lone penalty against UMass Dartmouth, Scott Spangenberg, that was also in the second quarter. UMass Boston did not score on that man-up opportunity. They were 0 for 1. So we get the final stat graphic ready for you. We hope you'll join us again on Saturday. Plymouth State comes into town at 3 o'clock as the Beacons now at 2-2 will look to really up the ante heading to the conference tournament. Here's a look at the final numbers for you. 26 shots for the Beacons, 22 for the Corsairs. 6 saves in the game for Alex Surratt. He picks up the win and moves to 4-6. Matt LaFawn falls to 3 and... Oh, those aren't... Yeah, Matt LaFawn picks up the loss. He falls 3-9. The face-offs, not too many of them in this game. It was a nice game for Matt Murphy at the dot. Turnovers were about even. There were a lot of them. We talked about the man-up numbers. Looking ahead, just to reiterate one more time, it's Plymouth State coming to town on Saturday. We'll have you for that one at 3 o'clock, and then 2 7 o'clock games to round out the year on the road at Salem State and at home against Southern Maine. A couple thank yous we want to send out before we go away. Oh, it's easy names this time. I normally butcher everybody's names. I feel terrible when I do. Seth Lorensky, our producer, for setting all this up. Alyssa DePippo, the director, sitting to my right, doing a fantastic job. Kaylee Beauregard on camera. I got that one right. I nailed them all. Hopefully I get this one. Play-by-play was Alex Barth. That's me. Your final score one more time from James Cotter Field. UMass Boston 4, UMass Dartmouth 2. We will see you on Saturday when UMass Boston holds Plymouth State. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a good day.